on, guys? Hoping you're having a fantastic day today, and I hope you made it out shooting. So, I actually went out shooting and I shot this guy. This is my Ruger 1022. It's topped with the Primary Arms ACSS 22LR, and it is the Fix 6 magnification. And I just did a video on it on my initial impressions on that. So if you want my first initial impressions, go ahead and watch that video. It's sitting in the Primary Arms rings. This is their 6 screw pattern, and it has the has a bolt on each one, just locking it in. And the rings are nice. They keep everything in place. The scope, it really surprised me on how well it does. I've shot it from 50 out to I think 150 yards before this on my initial impression. It was just a spot that I picked to shoot. That was the furthest I can squeeze out of it. So I recently went out to my long range spot where I usually take my bolt action and my AR, and I set a target up at 200 yards. I actually made a target. It was just a stick with a plank on the top that I was able to mount some sodas to it, or I taped the sodas down just so they didn't fall over with the wind. And I was just taking shots at them from 200 yards, not doing any dialing on the scope or anything like that, just using the bullet drop in the reticle. And it actually worked really well. It got me on target. I was just drawing the soda cans and the clay targets with, I want to say without any problems. It was, the wind I guess was the trickiest. I actually had a 10-mile-an-hour wind coming in, but I was only at a half value, so it was around a 5-mile-an-hour wind for me. But with the gust and everything else and the angle, it wasn't exact. So that was the only thing I was fighting. But as far as the bullet drop and the trajectory and fighting gravity, they were right on the whole time. And I set up a target at, I think it was 125 and then 150. It was at 150 most of the time, but it's a little inch and a quarter target. And it was just a little spinner that I bought, a little cheap one. And it was actually working really well on hitting that target as well. So I was transitioning from 150 out to 200 yards back and forth. I think my next video I will actually get recording of all of it, just doing the whole process, kind of doing a simulation on what it'd be like to shoot the competition with that. But talked a lot about it. Like I said, it's just a normal 1022 with Primary Arms on top. So let me roll in some footage of me shooting at 200 yards. So after taking this little guy out to 200 yards, I feel a lot more comfortable getting closer to joining the NRL 22 competition. I think this has potential to actually making it and doing good in the competition. I think it would be a lot easier just to use a reticle versus using turrets and doing your dope and everything else. Everything is right there. So I'm hoping I get some kind of a tactical advantage by using the scope. And as I train with it a little bit more and see what it's capable of, I think I'll end up buying some more targets, something closer to what they actually shoot in the competition, to actually test out how good it does. The last thing I want to do is show up there and get blown out the water and not have a chance. So when I do things, I want to do it to the best of my ability. And I want the scope to be able to outperform what I can actually shoot. So that's the whole goal behind it, and as of right now, that's the way I'm looking, that the scope can outperform my shooting ability. which is better because it makes you want to grow. And really, that's all you can ask for in a system. And with it sitting inside of the primary arms rings, I have 100% confidence in it keeping it in the right place. It's staying true to where I set it up at, and I don't want to get small rings on it because I'm not that gentle with my rifles. I throw them around. I don't really throw them around, but I throw them in the back of my truck all the time. I'll throw them in the bed of the truck, and I'll start taking off down the dirt road. The place I like to shoot aren't super close, and that gets me out there a little bit. Yeah, there you go. There's the spill right there. Exact reason on why I want to have thicker rings, so things like that happen. You never know when something's gonna shake, someone's gonna bump your cable, and your rifle's gonna take a spill. And with these rings, I have 100% confidence that my scope didn't adjust. It didn't move at all right now. So, but yeah, like I was saying, the road I go down is pretty far back in the desert. So I like going back there because there's no one else there. I don't have to worry about other people shooting near me. There's people that are close, but they're not taking the exact spot that I like to shoot, and it's kind of hidden spots. But because of that, it's a long dirt road with a lot of bumps and a lot of rocks. So it's going to be bouncing around the back of my truck. If it's in the bed of my truck, it's going to be even worse. So I feel real comfortable with these rings, and the exact reason on why I keep the tactical rings on. I have some cheaper thin rings, just the one hole or one screw pattern, but I don't have 100% confidence in that it's not going to shift at all. And that's more what I'm worried about is environmental and life happening versus the kick from the rifle, because we all know that 22s have no kick at all. But yeah, so I'll make some videos walking through this journey on trying to get this ready for a competition. If I make any kind of changes, as of right now, my rifle is bone stock. I haven't changed anything on it besides throwing a scope on it and making my own little cheap riser. It was kind of something I needed right then and there and didn't have time to order it or to go look for one. So I just had some foam sitting around, so I put some foam, taped it up. Didn't like the way the tape felt against my cheek, so I actually wrapped it in 550 cord. Not the nicest thing, but it works, and sometimes that's all you need. So yeah, if this video helps you out at all, smash that like button. Let me know if there's anything you would like me to cover. If you have any questions about it, please leave it down in the comments. I love conversations with people and going out and talking about different stuff. So yeah, go ahead and leave any kind of comment you like, and until next time, have a good one.